Imagine spending years thinking you were searching for answers, directions, frameworks that would finally impose order on a chaotic universe. Then one day someone tells you, everything you are trying to organize does not contain the pieces needed for meaning. This is not an insult to you. It is not an insult to the world. It is a simple warning that the structure you anticipate does not exist. That someone is Herman Tønnessen. His provocation is not emotional, not theatrical, not a cry of pain. It is philosophical in the most precise sense, almost surgical. He does not say that life betrayed you. He says you assumed a promise that was never made. If Camus tried to reconcile the human and the world through the absurd, and if Schopenhauer tried to explain suffering through the machinery of will, Tønnessen disconnects the two ends entirely. There is no reconciliation because there is no conflict. Life never said what it should be. We invented this expectation from cognitive desperation, symbolic overdrive, and habitual superstition of the mind. The modern human then confronts an unsettling idea. We are not unhappy because we lost something. We are unhappy because we search for something that cannot exist. The question, what is the meaning of life, does not fail because the answer is elusive. It fails because the question is logically malformed. Something in us resists this. We want the universe to feel like a puzzle. Tønnessen tells us that the universe feels that way, only because we are puzzle-making animals trapped in a reality that contains no puzzles. Tønnessen begins with a thesis that feels almost impolite in its simplicity. The human being is unhappy because it tries to place meaning where meaning cannot fit. This is not pessimism. Pessimism still presupposes a standard, a metric, a value that is denied. Tønnessen works before all that. He states plainly, the universe is not organized around intentions. Life is not built on purpose. We are the only creatures that insist on demanding explanations. From a scientific angle, this aligns with what cognitive psychologists describe as hyperactive agency detection. Humans look for causes even in noise. We interpret symbols everywhere. We build narratives out of fragments that do not ask to be assembled. This ability made it possible to design tools, plant crops, raise cities, and build civilizations. But when this same mechanism tries to operate on the whole of existence, it malfunctions. It asks more questions than the world contains answers. It looks for sequences in what is only event. It interprets accident as message. This is the first fracture. Our cognitive equipment exceeds the data available in reality. We are readers insisting on deciphering a book that was never written. The suffering does not emerge because the book fails. It emerges because we keep treating silence as encrypted meaning. Tønnessen considers Camus too optimistic. Albert Camus, with all his brilliance, proposed that life is absurd. The absurd is the collision between the human appetite for meaning and the mute indifference of the universe. Tønnessen looks at this and says, Camus is still expecting too much. If something is absurd, it violates a presumed ideal. There is still a sense of how things should have been. There is disappointment. There is drama. The absurd still honors the human being with a tragic dignity. Tønnessen removes even that. For him, there was no violated promise, no missing ideal, no blueprint behind existence. Life is not absurd, because absurdity still belongs to a logic of expectation. It still tastes of resentment. It still tries to elevate human longing into cosmic significance. Tønnessen wants none of this. He strips existence of theatrical suffering. He removes the heroic pose of rebellion. He tells us the universe is not silent. Silence suggests a conversation that could have happened. The universe simply does not participate in the domain where questions exist. There is no dialogue, no refusal, only structural indifference. Schopenhauer stands as a monumental figure in pessimistic philosophy. He described life as a stage driven by blind will, where desire means suffering and salvation is a mirage. Tønnessen believes this is still too coherent. Schopenhauer's system has architecture. There is a metaphysical engine. There are causes and effects. There is a logical anatomy to human unhappiness. His worldview is tragic, and tragedy is a type of order. For Tønnessen, this is a luxury. The universe has no will, no anti-will, no teleology, no machinery. There is no cosmic engine of suffering. There is only the human tendency to demand explanations where no explanations belong. Schopenhauer wants to explain the structure. Tønnessen asks why we assume a structure in the first place. Schopenhauer says life is tragedy. Tønnessen answers that tragedy is what happens when you expect a plot. Existence is not a plot. It is event without script. Hegesias, the ancient Greek philosopher, claimed that happiness is impossible, suffering inevitable, and life without intrinsic value. So forceful was his teaching that legend says his lectures were banned. But Tønnessen would still consider him too invested in categories. Hegesias still uses metrics like happiness, suffering, value, failure. He treats life as something that should deliver a certain good. To say life fails to deliver a good is already to believe that good exists as a universal benchmark. Tønnessen dissolves the benchmark itself. There is no universal good, no intrinsic value, no scale by which the world can be judged. Hegesias says life broke its promise. Tønnessen says life never promised anything. Tønnessen speaks of the fundamental nonsense of existence, not as provocation, but as a logical boundary. The fundamental nonsense states, the universe does not provide conditions for meaning. The human mind does not know how to exist without seeking it. The collision of these two produces structural unhappiness. From a psychological viewpoint, this resembles what neuroscientists describe as the burden of metacognition. We are animals aware of our own awareness, which means we constantly audit our experiences and ask what they mean. No other species suffers this friction between expectation and neutrality. From a sociological viewpoint, societies amplify this hunt for meaning. Cultures teach narratives, destinies, missions, spiritual agendas. Even secular societies replace metaphysical purpose with productivity, career, identity, achievement. Meaning becomes a mandatory project, a pressure, a performance. The more intelligent and self-aware the person, the more intense the tension. Lucidity increases the mismatch. The sharper the mind, the more it scrapes against the void. This is the core of the unhappy human. A mind designed to solve problems encounters a reality that is not a problem. In his most famous book, Tønnessen describes human unhappiness as a logical phenomenon. There is nothing life could give us that would satisfy the demand for meaning, because the demand itself lies outside the possible. Human suffering is not a tragedy, but mismatch, not emotional, but structural. Tønnessen argues, there is no possible justification for existence. The search for justification is inevitable. The impossibility of justification creates permanent friction. This friction becomes what we call unhappiness. Not pain, but incompatibility. Not despair, but cognitive overheating. It is like trying to build a house on a rainbow. The failure is not incompetence. It is category error. Optimists say life is good. Pessimists say life is bad. Both assume life can be evaluated. Tønnessen dismantles this. He says, life is not good. Life is not bad. Life does not belong to the domain of value. It simply is. Optimism infantilizes. Pessimism dramatizes. Both generate illusions that inflate expectations. Tønnessen rejects both and produces something rare. An existentialism without comfort and without despair. A view stripped of decoration. Not cheerful, not tragic, just clear. Life does not need meaning to be lived. And Tønnessen is not trying to drive anyone into darkness. He is trying to remove the mental burden. He does not say life is useless. He says utility does not apply. He does not say everything is empty. He says the demand for fullness is misplaced. Once this is understood, something unexpected happens. Life becomes lighter. Not happier, but more honest. We stop charging the universe for services it never offered. A quiet freedom appears. A clarity without myth or promise. It is the kind of peace that comes when you stop trying to fix a machine that was never broken. Life is not a puzzle. It is a smooth surface. We try to force pieces into it because the mind is trained to solve problems. But this is like trying to catch shadows with our hands. Life does not fail to provide meaning. Life does not operate in the field where meaning exists. Human unhappiness arises from treating life as message, mission, or final architecture. Once we understand that none of this applies, we do not become pessimists. We do not become optimists. We become adults in front of reality. Tønnessen offers a rare maturity. Life has no meaning. This is not loss, not damage, not cosmic malfunction. It is simply what life is. And strangely, by accepting this lack of sense, a person encounters not consolation and not despair, but a calm clarity, a raw freedom, a balance that does not depend on explanations. The unhappy human is the one who keeps demanding sense. The lucid human is the one who stops demanding. Only then does existence stop owing us anything. There is a moment, sometimes quiet, sometimes brutal, when a person realizes they have been walking through life as if there were a map hidden somewhere, a blueprint, a final answer, a promise waiting to be uncovered. But the truth arrives gently and firmly at the same time. There is no map. There is no final message sealed beneath the surface. There is only the strange clarity that appears when we stop asking the world to be something it never offered to be. Human unhappiness does not begin with suffering. It begins with expectation. We are creatures wired to chase meaning the same way lungs chase air. Yet the universe offers no contract that meaning must exist. So we sculpt stories out of silence. We demand coherence from what is only motion. We ask existence to justify itself, even though justification is not part of its design. But here lies the twist no one expects. The moment we stop forcing questions into places they cannot fit, the weight disappears. Not because life becomes easy, but because it finally becomes real. And reality, once accepted without debt or demand, has a beauty that no illusion can match. You do not need cosmic purpose to live a life worth living. You do not need guarantees to take the next step. Sometimes, the most honest form of freedom is the ability to say, "This is what exists, and I can live inside it without needing it to bow to my expectations." And if this message resonates with you, if it made something inside you shift, even un poco, know that you are already supporting this space just by being here. Watching, thinking, feeling. That alone means more than you realize. But if you want to go further, if you want to help this channel continue creating content that hits deeper than the surface, consider becoming a member. Members help keep this work alive and growing, and they gain access to perks, early insights, and a community that thinks beyond the ordinary. If you believe this kind of conversation matters, your presence there will matter too. And if you prefer a small gesture with a large impact, the Super Thanks button is an amazing way to say, "I want this to continue." Every contribution, no matter the size, strengthens the channel and allows me to bring you reflections that truly challenge, provoke, and illuminate. But remember, even if you simply watch, share, or leave a comment, you are already helping in a huge way. You are part of this journey. You belong here. Thank you for that. If you feel the pull, join as a member or use Super Thanks. If not, stay, watch, think, and keep walking with us. Either way, you are supporting something bigger than just a video.